Welcome to the Jamodi podcast, where we interview coaches and leaders to find out not just what they do, but how they do what they do. Becoming the best version of ourselves is Jamodi, just a matter of doing it. So you alluded to earlier that you had a difficult game last night against a really good team. And so you actually had recent example of how to handle defeat directly after a game. So what do you typically like to do?
You know what? I think that's always going to depend on the team you have and the situation. And I've done lots of different things. With this particular game, we played hard. We made a lot of mistakes, a lot of turnovers. We have our athletic period's fifth period during the school. We have a 7-period school day, so it's at the lunchtime, and so we have athletic period, and then we come back after school. So today, we just watched the whole film and went through the film during our fifth period time, and tried to point out things that we can do better, corrections, point out the things that we did good that we can build on, and watch the film and really try to get across to the guys. Hey, this is a learning experience. I told them we played 30 plus games. I really didn't think we were going to go 30-0. Really didn't. So, we're not, let's just use this one to make us better for the next one. And then we came back after school. We lifted weights. We did a little bit of shooting and walked through a few things, put on a new set play and talked about a few things and really kept it pretty light today. I last night after the game just basically went in the locker room and said the same thing. Learning, it's a learning experience. Let's use it to get better. Let's grow. It's over. It's done. We played hard. We did. We made some mistakes, but it's early in the year, and we'll figure those out. Now, I've also at times, and it's been a while. It's been several years since I've done it, but we've come in, let the gym clear out, and go back out and practice a little bit. Because I think there's sometimes you need to get their attention. So there's, and that's a great way to get their attention. What we did, whether it was effort, whether it was execution on something that we really needed to execute, wasn't acceptable. So we would go back out and go over it and go through it right then. And, that's a deal the older kids always tell the young ones, don't take your shoes off in the locker room till coach gets through talking, because you never know. But and again, that's it's been a long time since I've done that, but it has. I have. When we lose on the road, when we play on the road, one thing that I'm really big about with the varsity guys, I want them to ride the bus to the game, ride the bus home. A lot of people ride with their parents or whatever. I want, because right after the game, if we lost, I might be upset, and it's best if I just say, hey, let's just go get on the bus. And then I've got a 30-minute, 45-minute drive, however far it is, that I can process and think about things. And then we'll go in the locker room and I can talk to them.
I like,
calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes right after a game as a coach, we can be upset. And there have been times I've said something that as soon as it left my mouth, I thought, I really wish I hadn't said that.
Grab hold of it, bring it back in.
That happens a lot.
Well, I had a couple coaches say we have a 24-hour rule with our parents that they can't talk to us for 24-hour rules after a game for 24 hours after a game, because they need to calm down. We need to calm down. It's not a bad rule to have with your own team, because like you said, you don't want to say that thing that in the moment, like, one, you might not really know what you saw. What you think you saw, really you didn't. And you might say something that you'll regret. I love the fact that you said at the beginning of this answer, it depends on the team and it depends on the game. I think that's a great example of the art of coaching and having that feel for what does my team need right now from me.
Yeah, you're going to treat a younger team with less experience a whole lot different than you would a team that's they've been there and they've done that. It's and like I said, sometimes we would go out on the court. It wasn't because we were really mad at them. It was because, okay, this is something we need to do better, and okay, while it's fresh right now, let's go talk about what we need to do better. And then there have been a couple times we were mad at him too. So
Yeah.
it's, but I just think that, yeah, and when you talk about losing, probably of all the people you've had on here, I've probably lost more games than anybody that you've had on here. I can, when our school first opened, 3 of the first uh, 4 varsity seasons, we lost 20 plus, and um, and as for a coach, that's tough. And um, if you don't mind me sharing this, I
No, I
mean,
don't.
so I was at Godly High School. That was my first head coaching job. I was there 7 years. My last 2 years, we had really, really good teams. We made it to the regional finals both times. First time we lost to Crum, who went on to win state. The next time we lost to Peaster, who went on to win state. But we had really good. I had really good players that made me look good. And so I get the job at Birdville, and I think I'm pretty good, man. 27, 28 wins in a row, regional finals. I got this game coaching figured out. Well, our first varsity season, we opened with a JV, and then the next year we have varsity, but no seniors, just sophomores and juniors. And our first varsity season with seniors, that's when Coach Holman was a senior. We won 26 games. All right, so my last 2 years at Godly, and then my first year to actually have seniors, I'm like, I got this coaching stuff figured out. I mean, 26 plus every year. I can do this. Well, the next year we won about 9, no, maybe 11. I don't know, but we lost 20 plus. And then the year after that, coach, we were 2-25. And I thought I had absolutely nothing about this game. I am the worst coach in the history. And a lot of games we would go into halftime and the game was already over. I mean, we weren't good. I didn't do a good job. And, we're all competitive. We all want to win. And it was hard. And if you don't mind me sharing, I was at we had a speaker at church, and he was talking about memorizing scripture, which I've never been really good at. And he said, well, one thing you can do to help, he said, every day for a month, read through Philippians. It takes about 10, 15 minutes, short book. He said, read through Philippians. So I started reading through Philippians. I've got it right here. And I ran across Philippians 4, starting in verse 11. And he's, Paul writes a letter to the Philippians. He says, not that I was ever in need, for I've learned how to be content with whatever I have. I know how to live on almost nothing, or with everything. I have learned the secret of living in every situation, whether it was a full stomach or empty, with plenty or little. I changed that, and I said, I've learned how to be content with whatever I have. I know how to live when we win games. I know how to live when we lose games. I have learned the secret of living in every situation, whether we're winning or whether we're losing. And, just that we want to win, but there's other things in life that are way more important. When I meet Jesus Christ face to face, he's going to say, hey, that was a nice win against Richland. He's going to say, how did you treat those people that I put in your path that came across on your team? How did you treat them? And that those scriptures kind of got me through that year, because it was a hard deal to lose, and to lose that many. And so and it changed a little bit of how I coach and what I do. I'm a lot more mellow. When I came in, everybody wanted to be Bobby Knight.
Right.
Coach Knight was winning. My deal was, I want to be Bobby Knight without the cussing. That was that was how I wanted to coach. And I look back and I was pretty harsh to a lot of kids, and still am probably sometimes too much. But that really, I'm thinking, okay, so we won all those games. I'm coaching just as hard, and we're not winning. There's got to be more to it than winning and losing. And so we want to win all, and we want to win because it's more fun to win. But my mom used to say, every Tuesday night, half of the teams are winning and half of them are not winning. So does that mean all those that are not winning are failures? We just strive to be the best we can be, and hopefully we win more than we lose. But if we don't, we still be the best we can be. And so that, like I said, that scripture was really big to me, getting through that season.
Man, I appreciate you sharing that. And I've always been this has always been a forum, I think, with the podcast where believers are able to share things that they want, and they're so
You can
I
cut
love
me out. You can cut me out on
no,
that.
no, I love it. That's all good. And I think what a great reminder for me. Like, I mean, I'm at a Christian private school where we have biblical infusion in everything we do. But coach, I've had years where I think I lost my perspective. I forgot what my why was. Like, why am I at Faith?
Right.
Why am I coaching basketball? If it's just to win, and if it's just to, I don't know, get a certain amount, if it's not about the people and it's not about using basketball as a vehicle or at Faith, if it's not about pointing them towards the cross every single day, and I'm not great at that, of being that consistent. But I think your story there is powerful because so many people see you 22 years later with this team that you have, now, but they
Well,
forget or they don't know what you've gone through to get there.
yeah, there are a lot of coaches that they win all the time. They're great coaches, and they just win. And I've experienced both sides, both ends of it. I've had teams that made me look really good because they were good players, and they just had whatever it took to win. And I've had coached teams that weren't good, and um, I think that's where maybe as coaches sometimes we kind of overplay ourselves a little bit, because I was the same coach when we weren't winning as when we were winning. Here I was coach of the year, and then 2 years later we won two. And it's the winning and losing part. There's a whole lot of things that we don't control about that. It's the kids that we have, and how good they are, how big they are, how fast they are,
How healthy do they stay? I mean, there's a lot of things.
So there's only two things we can control: our effort and our attitude. And I think that doesn't just go to basketball. I think that's life.
Yeah.
We can control how hard we work at something, and there's going to be good things happen. There's going to be bad things happen that we have no control over, but we can control our attitude towards those things. And so that's another, we try to get that across to our kids. We can't control some of those calls that were made last night. We can control how hard we play, and we can control our attitude and how we deal with those calls, the reaction to that. And so again, I've been fortunate to win some games, but we've lost a lot too, and so I probably had to deal with that about as much as anybody. And
The cool thing too is that you have an administration there, and Jana, my wife, has told me just amazing things. I think a lot of people actually know about how awesome the administration is at Birdville,
right.
But you were able to coach through that, because I think some coaches lose their way.
Yeah, I don't know. It was probably touch and go for a while there. It really was.
Yeah.
As to another thing I got from Coach Meyer, build your army every day. He said, and so I believe that if you do your best to treat people right, and that's the other teachers, the other coaches, that you can survive a couple of down years. I think if you're a jerk, once
Yeah.
you have one or two bad years, they're going to be coming out of the woodwork to get rid of you. Now, they'll put up with a jerk that's winning,
Yeah.
but if you don't treat people right, then eventually they're gonna, if you have that bad year, you're in trouble. So we've always tried to, Coach Newman always said the worst thing you can do is have tunnel vision. You have to understand when you're coaching that the dance team, the girls in the dance team and the dance team, their program is just as important to them as basketball is to you. So when they need to use the gym, and it might affect your practice time, understand that what they're doing is just as important as what you're doing. And that's hard too. That's hard. And you have to remind yourself of that all the time. But every program in the school, whatever they're doing, that means as much to them as basketball means to me and our players.
Coach, I think that reminder right there might just have, I mean, I've already gotten a lot out of our time together, but that's really powerful. And I have forgotten that time and time again. And so I appreciate that reminder. Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the Jamodi podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.